Do you have a to-do list for today, maybe the month, maybe those yearly goals? Well, in this video, I'm going to go over 3 steps to help you deal with that to-do list so you can actually get those things done this year, as well as how to deal with the stress of having to deal with all of those things on your to-do list. So I want to welcome you to this video here. And hey, if this is the first time that you and I are meeting, my name is Mike. I want to welcome you to the channel here. And it's my job this year to help you reach your financial goals. Now, we specialize in the gig economy if you have a side hustle or a full-time hustle, but really what we're trying to do here is to help you reach your goals, both personally and professionally. And we're just going to jump right into it. Number one, just finding the motivation to actually get these things crossed off. I mean, hey, let's be real here. If you're like me, you have a list of things to do, and I'll be just straight up with you and honest that I have absolutely been lazy at times. I get a list and I'm looking at it, and even if I did write it down, there's times where I just really can't find the motivation to do it. So step number one in this 3 simple steps, I'm going to show you some stats on trying to find the motivation, what happens if you don't have the motivation, how that can be hurting you. So, I mean, maybe you're like this, right? Maybe you're just chilling. You find yourself wasting time at night, whenever it is, during the day, on the couch, you're watching TV. Shout me out your favorite Netflix show right down below in the comments. And you're just not feeling it. You're wasting time. And what happens? You know, you're at night and you're on the phone, whatever, you're on the iPad, and you're not even getting enough sleep, let's say. You're just wasting time. Well, think about this. This stat from Sleep Foundation talking about sleep, trying to get motivated, states almost 1/3 of Americans get less than 6 hours of sleep each night, according to the Center for Disease Control. This fatigue inevitably bleeds into the workplace, and a 2007 study of U.S. workers found that almost 38% of employees experienced fatigue while at work during the previous 2 weeks. Can you resonate with that? Let us know in the comment section or the live chat. I mean, is this an inward look just to say, you know, hey man, less than 6 hours of sleep is the study here for 33% of Americans. And what does that do, right? You can't even be motivated if you're tired, man. And the reason that I'm bringing this up is because we're really building the framework for, again, how to get things done. And this was a big problem for me years ago. Let me paint the picture. I'm coming to you from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I was working in a call center. And I mean, we'll go through the boredom of just doing something that you're not really pumped about. And I was working on other projects. And because of that, it kept me up late at night. I mean, being just a natural night owl anyway, that I was not getting enough sleep. Like this 33% of Americans in this study here. And what does that do? Like it shows here, 38% of employees experience fatigue in the last 2 weeks. And I will kid you not, the penalty for missing sleep is massive. Kind of a constant, obviously, the cloudiness, almost like the rolling headaches. Obviously, you're not with it. And they say that losing sleep is just as bad as being drunk. I will completely agree with that, because my decision making at the time was horrendous. And I found myself literally having the micro sleeps that it's called. It's usually, instant to about, 2-minute sessions of sleep. It can be anywhere from, a couple of seconds to, again, just really milliseconds instantly of falling asleep, because your body's telling you, hey man, I mean, you're running this thing on fumes, you're running this thing on empty. And that really affects you. So think about that. If you're not getting enough sleep, I mean, the only motivation that I had when I did not get enough sleep was to what? Was to go back to sleep, man. I had so little sleep, 4 hours a night or whatever it was, 4 or 5 hours, that my body was just begging to get back home and go back to sleep, because I was not treating my body right at the time. This was 5-7 years ago or whatever it was, not getting enough sleep. So that's tip number one here, that, I mean, hey, this is building a framework for how to actually get things done. So I talked about, I was working on different projects, right? because I was kind of bored, with the call center stuff, right? I wasn't really feeling it. Wasn't really a passion for me. And I was just kind of bored. I mean, are you bored in your workplace? This is going to cause you, or just bored of what you're doing. It's going to cause you to not have motivation. It's going to cause you not to get things done. So relating to motivation statistics, stats show that 33% of those who change jobs cite boredom and the quest for new challenges as the main reason for leaving. So think about your to-do list. Is it boring? I mean, it's going to cause you to be less engaged. It makes sense, right? Me at that call center, I mean, I was bored and I was running on next to a little sleep here. I kid you not, it was causing such a detriment to my work that I kind of hit it decently well, at least I would think, right? And then just the outward appearance of yourself. So are you bored? Let's talk about that. So like I just cited in that stat there, boredom and the quest for new challenges is one of the reasons why people leave jobs. And then you may hear that nextly really close by is management or your boss, right? People quit bosses. They don't quit jobs, right? I've been there as well. So finding the motivation, I mean, in that call center, I was answering like 120 calls a day, man. It was really constant. And again, we're talking about boredom and the quest for achievement, drive, creating something myself that, man, I didn't even want to get my job tasks done because I was just bored. I wasn't feeling it. Think about your own scenario here. So a tip for you, something that really helped me out is you gotta do the thing. But what do you mean by that? I mean, this doesn't have to do with just a to-do list. It has to do more so with the macro of where do you want to go? You got to work with the end goal in mind, as it says here. My job is to help you make money. So we talk about different active and semi-passive revenue streams. I'm a big believer in, start that business. Work on digital products. Can you contract something out on Fiverr, on Etsy if you're a creator? Speaking of being a creator, can you start on Twitch? Can you grow here on YouTube? Are you committed to have a passion behind the project? Because again, if you're dead bored, you're going to be like me answering those calls, 120 calls a day, man. It was kind of draining. I kid you not. Hey folks, I see you in the live chat today. Appreciate you being here in the video today. Definitely let me know what questions you have. If you're getting value in this content today. And funny enough, speaking of doing the thing here, we're doing this stream, hopefully in full, as this apartment complex is testing the fire alarms today. So if this stream has to end abruptly, then you will know why. But if you're watching this on the replay, hopefully we get through it, right? We're just doing the thing, man. We're doing it. We're finding the motivation in a passion project and we're going for it. Tip number 2, maximizing time management. All right, so we talked about I need to get motivated. Number 1 is finding the motivation to even do the thing. If it's big, like getting a promotion, switching industries, starting the YouTube channel, starting the business, or if it's the more kind of micro level, it's like, I need to, literally, it can be a small, I need to go to this is something that I've actually fallen victim to of laziness is like, I got to go to the grocery store, man. I mean, I got some stuff in the fridge, but I'm feeling kind of lazy, right? It's finding the motivation and managing right now your time to get all of these things done. Because if you're like me, and let me know in the live chat or the comment section, is you got enough stuff going on, right? I want to try this new things, but I got the kids to manage too. I got this new assignment at work, but I want to try this as well. Let's go over some of these hacks on now that we're trying to build the motivation, right? How are we going to do that? We're going to get enough sleep. We're going to actually follow some passions and recognize boredom. It's a real thing, but we need to fight through that. Again, that's how we're bettering our body to prep ourselves to not have the negative impacts of restlessness, boredom, right? So let's go through some of these hacks here. Now, I mean, we've never really done this. I've never really done this. It's taken a step back, and I'm just looking at the definition. Time management, the ability to use one time effectively or productively, especially in work. I mean, I'm not a fan of cliche things, but we're just going to say it anyway. It's like, hey, you got the same 24 hours as so-and-so, right? You got the same amount of hours as so-and-so. Now, kind of, I mean, we obviously all have a lot going on. We don't have whatever it is, staff like the celebrities. We're not really talking about that. But at the end of the day, it's up to me and it's up to you to actually cross these things off your list here. So here's a list of some good hacks to get these things done. But firstly, let me ask you these questions before we get ahead of ourselves there. Now it's time to look inward. What all do you need to do today, this week, this month? Is anyone or anything actually holding you accountable? This is a massive takeaway. And hopefully this video is acting as your call out. Can we call you out in today's video? Listen, let me just come here. Listen, if no one or nothing is holding you accountable, I mean, it's going to get kicked down the road almost infinitely. At least that's what I've seen. Let me know if you agree with that. Is anyone or anything holding you accountable? Do you have actual deadlines? Well, okay. I want to start. Give me an idea in the live chat or the comment section. I want to start selling on Amazon. Yeah, I want to get some products and I want to ship it to Amazon. They can carry the inventory for me and ship it. It's called Amazon FBA, Fulfilled by Amazon. I want to try that thing. Cool. When are you going to try it? Well, I'm going to try it, when I'm ready. I got a lot of things going on. I'm going to try it. Well, it's a summertime right now. It's kind of busy for me. I got vacation. I'm going to try it when I have more free time. There's no deadline. And again, with no deadline, literally no one can hold you accountable, because it's going to pop in their mind 6 months. Hey, did you ever do that thing, man? Oh yeah. And then you may make more excuses, right? You gotta have deadlines. And then again, are there any punishments for missing open deadlines? I think deadlines are super powerful. Let me know if you agree with that. But the next list I'm going to show you are actual action items for how to answer these questions, really. So lean in for this. Definitely drop me a like if you're getting value here. Are there any punishments for, can I just tell you a pet peeve of mine? If we're being honest here, as we're hopefully dodging the fire alarms, knock on wood, please. But missing deadlines is a big pet peeve for me. If I'm contracting a workout or even deadlines for myself, I have obviously, weekly workflow for deadlines for this business and more. Missing deadlines is so painful. And let me know if you agree with that. But let's take a look at some of these action items. Number one, a digital sticky note. I mean, we all know what sticky notes are, right? It's kind of featured in the thumbnail. Well, digital sticky notes. What I've found to be really one of the most powerful things for me is having a digital sticky note on my laptop every day, looking me right in the face when I get up in the morning and says, hey, you need to get this done by this date. And again, you need to have deadlines. On your phone, different reminder apps, what have you. Phone calendar reminders. This is another big thing. This is what helps me keep appointments, which is something that I never really did years prior when I was more lazy, when I wasn't taking care of myself as much. You'll be surprised of the power of just having reminders. If you haven't done it, do it. You can do it in your native phone app. You can download different schedulers or journals. It's just the power of seeing it. Okay, I see that is due on Thursday. I can see that when I check my calendar. And I know it's not going to surprise me on Wednesday night because I have it. I see it every day looking at my calendar. What about this one? Sharing your tasks and deadlines with others. Again, is anyone or anything holding you accountable? Consider this. Share it with someone, a friend, a family member, a loved one. Just share your deadline. Say, you know what? I'm going to start that business. I'm going to start that YouTube channel. I'm going to start working on that gig app or whatever it is. I'm going to start it by the 31st, the end of this month, the 31st. Or, you know, I'm going to buy that exercise bike. I'm going to start, and say this, go even further. Say, it's delivering on Friday. I'm going to start on Tuesday. You know what? You can even double down. You can say, hey, do you want to join me? You know, we can kind of have a workout, bring your dumbbells. We'll have a great workout. There you go. Now you're holding each other accountable. Nextly, Eat the Frog. Popular book, Eat That Frog. Eat the Frog, that strategy states, hey, you need to just get the worst thing done first, man. And these are great because these are really adaptable to you and your situation. So if you adapt the Eat the Frog method is, yeah, I mean, that hardest thing, just do it first. And then when it's done, think how good you'll feel. Like, man, I did the worst thing. Everything else, it isn't that bad. I was dreading it, but I already did it. Now I can just do this, do that. I can run the errands, whatever it is. And yeah, I feel, and think about that reward system internally that you're going to feel, that dopamine hit when you get it done. No deadline, make one. Super powerful. Again, you have to have concrete deadlines for when is this thing actually going to get done, man? Put a deadline on it. If you have the deadline, which you should, what happens if you miss the deadline? Do something about it. Remember, I mentioned, is there any punishment for missing deadlines? There kind of should be. I mean, if we're real here, there's got to be, I mean, some kind of punishment that you don't want to miss deadlines, right? I mean, you wouldn't miss a day in the office without a punishment, right? Could you imagine if your office didn't have a punishment if you just didn't come in? That business itself would be punished by going out of business. Join a support group. We talked about, I mean, just kind of that working out with a buddy, right? Imagine if you 10x that, and then you're going to a class, and that class is holding you accountable. Especially if it's one where you have to register, right? It's not just like come in when you want. You got to register for the class. It's a limited capacity. And they say, hey, where's Mike at? Have you ever had one of those? Let me know in the live chat or the comment section. Have you ever had, you know, you play for like the after work softball team, right? Or you're doing whatever it is, right? The group activities, like, whoa, where's Mike at? We kind of need him here. He's always here, right? Nextly, set up a rewards system. So we talked about punishments, but imagine that Eat the Frog method, right? I did the tough thing. Dude, I'm gonna kind of celebrate. It doesn't have to be a big thing either. Literally, I use this whenever I am, let's say, driving in the gig economy. I use this a lot of times. And that'll be, hey, if I'm driving this many hours, I got to be on the road. I got to manage safety with my vehicle, whatever it is. I'm going to get my favorite Starbucks, man, or I'm going to get Better Buzz back in SD. Shout outs to Better Buzz at SD, great coffee place. But, you know, that was my reward system. Hey, I'm going to be grinding away for hours. I'm going to get my favorite coffee drink. And it gave me, again, going back to motivation, the motivation to say, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'm working, especially if it's raining here in Pittsburgh. But, you know, I have this reward system that makes me feel good. Nextly, create a new routine. This is super powerful. Lean in for this one. So create a new routine. And I tell you folks, this is one of the most powerful things that I have done to manage my time. Working out is the biggest thing I think we can all think of. Is when I committed, making it a routine was massively powerful. And I just said, listen, I'm going to do this thing whenever, after work or this time or after I eat breakfast, whatever it is written in my routine. Literally anything that is self-created, accomplished, it's got to be a routine. It's doing this business, right? I don't just kind of, I don't wing it. I make it a routine. And then lastly, change your environment. Managing your time, you might just need a shakeup. And again, understanding your scenario, everyone's got a lot of things going on, but check this out. Did you know that 57% of employees working remotely said they had high job satisfaction? Only 50% of their counterparts who work from offices felt the same. They had a change of environment. And most likely, if I would guess, an environment that they felt more comfortable in, more motivated in, that we talked about in point number 1 here. Now, I made a big move from here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to 2,500 miles across the country to San Diego, California. I was there for a little over 3 years. Simply changing my environment, getting around new everything, just kind of jolting me again, creating a new routine. Now my routine in San Diego was much different than Pittsburgh. And again, I'm not saying you got to move across country, dude, but I've literally heard that taking a different route on the way home, try a different coffee. I know you're a Starbucks loyalist. It's good, but I mean, I would have never found better buzz in San Diego if I didn't break the routine, which created a new routine. So to get more done, motivation, managing time, and again, like this, maybe just mix it up. Now, we have a lot going on, right? You say, dude, I mean, that's great, man, but I mean, this is really stressful. I got a new baby. I just bought a house. I'm trying to afford a car payment, man. I mean, I just lost a job. And I can speak to that last point, getting let go, 2 times in 2.5 years or so. So my third point here in getting more done is managing the tipping points, stress. Because, I mean, I've been there. Don't look at me and say, dude, I mean, you got it good, man. He sounds like you got it all figured out, dude. This dude sounds like he's never been stressed. I mean, I've said this before, folks, stress is rolling up to the Arco gas station, which was down the road from the house that I was renting in Mission Valley, and having no cash in the wallets, having about $5.23 in the bank, $5.23 in the bank account, and not having any residual income, and still trying to, work a job that I wasn't doing that great, and still trying to do my hustle, just like you're trying to do your hustle. Let's talk about managing stress, because it's very real, and I'm not ignoring that. That's why we're talking about it right now. So the health department says things that you probably already know, but I just want to show you this to bring it top of mind here. Signs of stress, right? The basics: worried, angry, depressed, etc. But I wanted to show you the effects on the body below that. Headaches, sure, I get that. Tense muscles, I get that. Trouble sleeping and sleeping too much, that kind of surprised me, because when I, let's say, didn't get enough sleep, then my body, you can guess what happens. It just crashes, man. And I literally slept kind of too much, or at least irregular hours, right? You run on fumes for the week, and then you sleep, whatever it was, 13 hours on the weekend, man. Stress comes in a lot of forms. I have stress. I got stress almost every day. You got stress. It's how we manage it. Let's look at how we manage it. So the health department continues saying things that you kind of already know here. Aim for 150 minutes a week of moderate intensity aerobic activity. Try going on a bike ride or taking a walk rather. Now I'm sure you get that. I'm going to give you my straightforward advice. And hey, shout outs to James, one of our VIPs. If you feel so inclined, click that join button down below to get access to exclusive content, custom badges, emotes to stand out in live chat. And James was so kind to drop a super chat here stating, I moved out to Cincinnati at the end of the year and have been using Airbnb, preparing to close on an apartment. Congrats on that. New environment, unlimited rewards. Love that, James. And thanks for being here. I appreciate you dropping that super chat. And I mean, like James said, sometimes, like we said, just shaking it up. I mean, literally, I can be on this side of the river in Pittsburgh. I could literally move to an apartment somewhere else in Pittsburgh, and that's a shakeup, right? Different degrees. And again, I appreciate that, James. So that's what the health department says for managing stress. I agree with that. I'm not saying it's not valuable. It is valuable. Exercise is massive. Folks, it is massive. You've heard it before because it actually is real. It's important. I understand everyone's got different situations physically, but if you can, if you're able, do something. Walk. Start with the 5-pound dumbbells. Start something. Do simple activities. Have a friend of mine right now that's jumping into it. Super proud of her for doing that. And you will see massive improvements in step number 1, in the motivation. Step number 2 is, I feel like, fringe benefits of your time management. But for me, my next point here is managing stress is to step away. Now, this doesn't mean, again, moving across country, right? But what I did, let's just take our example of San Diego, is I was out there by myself. You know, I moved with a then girlfriend. Shortly after we got there, boom, call it quits, right? And I knew no one out there, no family, you know, making friends here and there, but I mean, being out there by yourself. So San Diego in and of itself is very beautiful, as you can imagine, picturesque, but still being able to step away. So what I did is I looked for places to step away. It's places away from the tourist destinations, right? So I found this great, I'm trying to remember the name, realization garden. I'm sure there's a name, a word before that, but it was in Encinitas called a realization garden. It was, I believe, kind of a religious establishment, but it was open to the public. And it was on the cliffs of Encinitas. Pretty highly elevated on these cliffs. And perfectly landscaped. They had a koi pond, different water features, and multiple, you know, chill zones or meditation zones, right? Just scenic overlooks. And that was kind of my step away. That like, hey, dude, you're living in San Diego. It's like perfect, man. It's like a postcard. And it really was. But even within that, having a place to step away for me was pretty cool. And so find your own place just to step away. It can be Starbucks. You're chilling. Just find your place to manage the stress. Now, break the cycle. Number 2, like I mentioned, just try something new. We get stuck in the monotony, dude. I go to the same bar after work. I do the same thing. I watch my same show. How does that sound, right? If we're real with each other, I'm sure you don't do it, right? But the other guy. But how does that sound? Dude, I sit in my same chair in the office. At 11:15, I get up, get my cup of coffee. I'm in traffic, you know. And again, it's the same. We're not meant to do that, in my opinion. The same. So try to break that cycle. Have new stimulus. Try something new. Again, the new restaurant, new cafe. Get outside of your comfort zone. We talked about getting comfortable with getting uncomfortable. This next one, I think, is a big power hack. Drop the things that don't matter. There may be things in your life that really don't matter. Literally, it can be toxic people, friends, right? Drop them. I'm being real here. And now, it doesn't have to just be toxic people. There can be things that are kind of toxic to your workflow. Oh, you're wasting time. This is a massive power hack that I did. So, for instance, if you know the guy that, you know, you're going out and partying every weekend, or you're playing 4 hours of Fortnite or whatever it is. And I'm not saying that you can't have the fun, that you can't have the fun stuff. I mean, you know, I certainly do that here myself, but are there things that are really sucking the time and subsequently the motivation out of your goals? What would you rather do? Play Fortnite for 4 hours a night, or actually reach that goal, the new job, the new business, the whatever it is you want to make a year, home improvements, new house, whatever you want to do? Do you really want to hit that? If you really want, and this is some tough love here, if you really want it, you're going to go for it. You're going to allocate time to what's important to you. If you're hungry, what do you do? You know, whenever I hear this argument, I'm like, dude, if you're hungry, what do? You're going to get food, man. If you don't eat for 6 hours, you're going to really want to get some food, right? Think about that. Are there things that you can drop? Nextly, if able, tackle a task after a fresh recharge. Get some sleep, recenter. If you're able to, drop it for later. You can say, I mean, I do this myself. I do this when, let's say I'm working on a project here. I'm working on a video, and I'll say, dude, I'm tired, man. You know, I'm worn out. And I did this, the other day is, you know, invest in your body, get to sleep, and hit it again when you're recharged. You'll be, I'm sure, no surprise, but it's pretty amazing how much that focus comes back into play there when you're actually recharged. So folks, I hope you got value in this video today. So just to summarize here again, tip number 1, finding your motivation. Tip number 2, how to hack and manage your time management. Tip number 3, because obviously we all have a lot going on here, is managing your stress. And I hope I can help do that. I hope I can help really keep you motivated this year. This is in part what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to make sure you maximize your success, you make the most money in a side hustle, in a full-time hustle. We covered the whole gambit here, from affiliate income to driving in the gig economy. We're going over survey apps here. Tons of things that give you the most options possible when it comes to money, but also I just want to keep you on your game, man. Because maybe I'm the one keeping you accountable. We talked about, you know, having someone that keeps you accountable. Maybe it's me. Maybe subscribe right now if you want me to keep you accountable, because I will definitely do that, because I want you to actually hit those goals. Because folks, I'm trying to go big. I'm trying to go huge this year. I'm trying to make, you know, 6 figures plus. We're trying to go big. I want to bring you along with me. So if you haven't done so already, definitely consider joining the team here. Over 46,000 now. We'll love to have you on the team here. And if you did get value in this video, definitely drop me a like. And you can also click or tap screen here for my newest video, as well as a video recommended for you. And I'll see you in the next one.